Hey guys, I'm in Amsterdam again this week, but as always, it's been a very busy week for LGBT news, so let's dive in on yet another weekly debrief. Here's the good news. Marriage was just legalized on the island nation of Malta. Weddings can start there later this year, and support for marriage was overwhelming with a vote in the legislature of 66-1. In celebration, here is a picture of a Maltese dog. And now the bad news. At the same time that marriage was being legalized by a tiny island nation off the coast of Italy, Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull was taking steps to block marriage equality on his slightly larger island. Australia still doesn't have marriage equality, even though all it would take is a simple parliamentary vote. One lawmaker had drafted up a bill this session so lawmakers could vote, but this week Turnbull repeated that the only way he'll allow marriage equality to happen is through a national popular vote. The only problem with that is it's estimated that would cost $500 million. And even then, it would be non-binding, essentially a $500 million survey. Because it would be so expensive and impractical, that nationwide vote is probably never going to happen. So by setting that as the only way he'll allow marriage equality, Turnbull is essentially preventing marriage from ever happening. Until, of course, his party can be voted out of office. But until that happens, Australia will continue to prevent same-sex couples from marrying. And over in the US, Republicans are attempting to prevent trans soldiers from getting medical care. Missouri Representative Vicky Hartzler introduced an amendment to a defense bill this week that would have blocked soldiers from obtaining any medical treatment related to gender transition. Let's be clear, transition care is recognized as medically necessary by groups like the American Medical Association, by courts, by insurance companies. But now, this politician is stepping in and telling trans soldiers essentially, thanks for your service, but your medical needs don't matter. Part of the deal of joining the military is that people put their lives on the line for the country. And it's hard to imagine anything more damaging for morale or harmful to the military than the country withholding medical treatment. So, who is supporting the troops? Groups like Outserve, which lobbied heavily to block Hartzler's amendment from becoming law. Ultimately, that medical ban failed by just 5 votes, and more amendments like it could be coming up in the future. Outserve needs your help to make sure they don't become law. This week's action item is to head over to outservesldn.org and follow them on Twitter and Facebook. They'll send out alerts to let you know who to call or who to email and what to say to make sure that soldiers get the medical care they need as decided by their doctors. Also, big thanks to everyone who's sharing these weekly videos. It's so important right now to let everyone know what threats are facing LGBT people and what we can do to fight back. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and @MattBaum on Twitter. I'll be in Berlin next week for Pride, and I'll debrief you then.